My name is Kelly Kellogg, and I am the Director of Institutional Effectiveness. IE is grounded in the philosophy of continuous improvement. We are constantly asking ourselves, how can we do this better? How can we improve student learning, operations, and student services? One key driver in continuous improvement is innovation, and that's what these videos are all about, spotlighting innovative practices at Carl Albert. Our first video highlights student learning and Traci Barnes. So Traci, before we get into your activity, can you tell us about your role on campus?
Sure. I am an instructor here at Carl Albert. I teach zoo, anatomy, and physiology.
So you have created, implemented an activity, and in this activity, the students are using trash to create a circulatory system, a model of that.
Right. So they have an assignment where they know the blood flow. They have to come up with the 3 functions, 2 heart conditions, and then they have to draw the circulatory path, and they have to do it all out of trash. We do this before we ever learn about any of it. It allows them to make mistakes and then to figure out their mistakes. And then we do peer reviews where they go and look at another student's work, tell them something they did really awesome, and then they also tell them something that they need to improve, which gives some of them a lot of pause because they don't want to say anything bad. But then I explain to them that you're helping them, because in the end, the final grade is based off of not only what they did, but what corrections they would write about that they would make. So it's a great problem-solving, critical thinking project. It gets them thinking for themselves, and they figure it out.
It's interesting that you're using this activity as foundational learning before formal instruction happens. So what is the impact that you have seen from this process?
Some students notice things right away. Once they start going up on the boards, they're like, oh, I see what they did. I should have done more of this or that. So it really gets them to analyzing and evaluating their own work as well as their peers. And then there's that whole peer experience where they work with them and they build their relationships, and it works really good. So
a key aspect of this is the modeling, which when we think of modeling, we may think of just replicating what is in front of us, which I think you do a different version, or it aims at a different purpose within this activity. And so can you explain that, and could that be adapted for other disciplines?
Yeah, I think it can be adapted for anything. You know, like in math, you could, geometry, different objects, you could build our physics lab. I see things going on in there where like paper clips and batteries, and you know, they're making wild and crazy stuff. Even like accounting. I mean, it could be a paper and pen modeling a business. It could look totally different than this, but I think there are ways to do it in every single subject.
When you're assessing the artifacts, are you finding that they are getting proficient in starting that foundation? And also, what is their student feedback?
Okay, yes, I think they are. And one of the things I explain right away is, I mean, these look really nice and they look really artistic, but you could have the ugliest model out there, and as long as the content is correct, they have the grading sheet. They know exactly what I am looking for. So while some of them may look better than some of the other ones, we're looking only at content, and that puts them at ease. I had them write follow-up letters, which are attached, and it kind of goes through the process, and I let them tell me what they liked or didn't like about it, what they learned, and also, you know, what they needed to improve. And Many of them have actually said they actually really enjoyed the project because they figured out some things and it will stick with them, because I don't want them to just memorize it for my class. I want it to go into long-term learning. I want, when they get over to the PTA program, the nursing program, wherever they're going next, I want them to have a good foundation of this knowledge to carry with them.
Very good. I got one last question for
Okay.
you. What does innovation mean to you?
To me, it means I need to get creative on my end. I need to come up with different tools or different methods so that I can encourage my students to learn the content. There's an old proverb that says something to the effect of, tell me and I forget, teach me and I'll remember a little bit, but if you involve me, I will learn. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Well, thank you for sharing your hands-on activity and approach to student learning and assessment.
Thank you, I appreciate it.